And then I did. Okay, he got a hold of my phone number. I don't know how. And in those days, of course, there were no phone machines, nothing. You guys have got it made if you want to hook up. So I had to, sit around waiting. And then he actually called. He got a hold of my number from somewhere and invited me to a gig. And I was going to be his guest in his car and everything. So how do you say no to that? So I went. Led Zeppelin Live in 1969 was an event unparalleled in musical history. They played longer and harder than any group ever had, totally changing the concept of rock concerts. They flailed around like dervishes, making so much sound that the air was heavy with metal. I guess they invented that genre. I mean, it got more thicker and dumber as the years went on, in my opinion. Okay. 2 hours after the lights went out, as the band sauntered off stage, the audience was a delirious, raving, parched mass, crawling through the rock and roll desert, thirsting for an encore. 20 long minutes later, Mighty Zeppelin returned to satiate their famished followers. They played for hours. They were the first band to play over like 30 minutes. When I saw the Beatles and the Stones in the early 60s, the Stones played 23 minutes at the Hollywood Bowl. And the Stones played about half an hour. The Long Beach Arena when I went there. Okay. The long ride from Santa Barbara was one of those dream experiences that leave you glowing in the dark. From the moment Jimmy slid his small velvet-clad ass across the seat of the limo, right next to mine, until the door was thrown open in front of the experience, we cooed and giggled like doves in heat. It was a 100-mile drive, which gave him plenty of time to come out with all the lines. He was so famous for this, I didn't know it yet, but he was so famous for, bringing girls into his lair and making them believe they were the only one. Yeah. He told me he'd gotten my number the last time he was in town, but was too nervous to use it until the last day. And he called and called, but the line was constantly busy. He said he wanted to spend time with me more than anything in the world. Tell me more. I kissed and slobbered all over the inside crease of his slim white arm until he rolled his head back against the plush seat, gasping, "Oh, Pamela, yes, yes, yes." Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little story about that. In the movie Almost Famous, I don't know if you guys remember, you've probably all seen it 12 times. There's a part where the groupie, based on me basically, is waiting backstage for this band. What are they called, guys? Stillwater. And he comes in and she takes his arm and she kisses it right here. This was theft from my book. I was really pissed off. Because it's not the usual place you make out with someone, Okay. He warned me that his previous LA girlfriend would probably be in the club and that I would have to give him the chance to explain to her about me. Uh-oh. That turned out to be Catherine James, who is now my best friend. We had quite a couple of years there where it was very uncomfortable, though. I climbed out of the warm, dark backseat womb full of wet kisses and flaming, glazed eyes and found myself in the precarious position of sharing this splendid divinity with Catherine James, the most gorgeous rock courtesan alive. She and I hissed at each other from a dark distance, and I beat the old hasty retreat back to my cozy pad, where I tossed around in the sheets with the vision of Jimmy's backyard peacock strutting across my latticed brain. He kept telling me he was going to take me to Pangburn, and I was going to see the peacocks strutting by the window.